Hey guys, welcome back to the video, and I know it's been a while, like a year, but Red Dead died, and honestly I kind of just didn't quite know what to do to make more videos after Red Dead died, so I'm back. I've got a few games lined up. They should be coming out over the next week, so that's gonna be fun. They should take a little while to finish too. Unless I get stuck in one and just keep recording it all night. But anyway, I figured first, we're back on Dagon. And you'll probably remember this game from when I did it. It's a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation type deal, where it's basically a visual novel. But we're actually going to be playing one of the DLCs. And believe me, I would do the little glass box or little glass bottle, but frankly, I might have already played that alone because I was bored one night. But we got Railway Horror, and hopefully I don't get freaked out too much over this. Anyway, let's get to it. This is not an official Lovecraft story, even though it may sound familiar to some of you. It's an excerpt from the writer's letter to his friend, Donald Wandry, from November 24th, 1927, in which he described one of his dreams, or rather a nightmare. Private small DLCs are donated to humanitarian aid organizations, not and. I'm not clicking for more information. Thank you for your support.
My dreams occasionally approached the fantastical in character, though falling somewhat short of coherence. One scene is especially stamped upon my recollection. That of a dank, fetid, reed-choked marsh under a gray autumn sky.
It's a marsh. He's from Brooklyn, Boston. Because he has a car. During the game, you'll encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. So we need to look for the little branch-looking dudes. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. Oh, there's one. In letters to his friend, Donald Wandry, Lovecraft described two of his dreams. After the writer's death, they were sold to the publisher of Sci-Fi Snaps Bizarre magazine and published in the form of short stories. The first one, titled The Very Old Folk, tells the story of a man of one of the provinces of the Roman Republic and the mysterious mountain inhabitants performing terrible rituals. The second was titled The Thing in the Moonlight and was published in January 1941. The publisher added a fabricated beginning and ending to it, in which Lovecraft, unable to free himself from the nightmare, mentally contacts a stranger. Other publishers later reprinted the story, unaware that some of the text was not authentic. It was in this dream that we present here in its original form without any additions. I don't know if there's any more of the... I don't like that sound, the womp, womp, womp. I don't know if y'all can hear it.
With a rugged cliff of lichen-crusted stone rising to the north.
Tree. That was a train track. That's a scythe. Donald Wandry, the recipient of the letter contained in the story presented here, had a significant impact on the career of the writer from Providence. One of Lovecraft's most famous stories, The Call of Cthulhu, was initially rejected by the publisher of Weird Tales magazine. Wandre visited his office and made a small provocation during the conversation, suggesting that Lovecraft was looking for other magazines to expand his audience. After this visit, the nervous publisher decided to accept the story, then republished it in 1928. Just like Lovecraft, Wandre was interested in poetry. My dog is going crazy. What the heck? I'm sure that's fine. Among others, he created the Sonnets of the Midnight Hour, a series which inspired the creator Dagon to write the famous sonnets Fungi from Yuggoth. But his greatest merit was the co-founding of Arkham House Publishing House with August Derleth, which published Lovecraft's work after the writer's death, contributing greatly to his current popularity. Onward to the lichen-crusted mountain.
Impelled by some obscure quest, I ascended a rift or cleft in this beetling precipice.
I never thought of a mountain as beetling. Do we got any more secrets? No secrets here. No secret mushrooms. Onward we go!
Noting as I did so the black mouths of many fearsome burrows extending from both walls into the depths of the stony plateau.
I don't like this. Secret? The protagonist the author's voice. The protagonist whose fate you follow in Lovecraft is Lovecraft himself. After all, it is an account of his dream. That's why we wanted to reproduce his way of speaking and accent as faithfully as possible. Unfortunately, no recordings of his voice have survived. That's why we had to rely on descriptions from numerous letters. Friends remember his voice as a high-pitched, thin, and flat. However, it changed while reading and reciting, as the writer's wife, Sonia Green, recalls his voice then became stronger, clearer, and deeply resonant. Lovecraft spoke with a New England accent, which, as the writer himself mentions, was characterized by the following. We don't sound any of the final ah in words like ka, fa, and k. Phonetically, our common pronunciation is indistinguishable from ah, fa, and ke. Letters are selected letters 3,420. In his youth, Lovecraft tested his singing skills and even recorded some of his rehearsals. My mother actually liked the results. Mothers are not always unbiased critics, but I saw to it that the N accident soon removed the incriminating evidence. Later, I tried something less ambitious. This was a better success, but reminded me so much of the way of a dying fox terrier that I very carelessly happened to drop in the record soon after it was made. I have since confined my artistic talents to literature. That was a little bit too southern, wasn't it? H.P. Lovecraft to Maurice W. Moe, 15th of May, 1918. I think I went way too southern with that. Impossible, there's no such thing. Let's see. Further up we go.
At several points, the passage was roofed over by the choking of the upper parts of the narrow fissure. these places being exceedingly dark and forbidding the perception of such burrows as may have existed there. In one such dark space, I felt conscious of a singular accession of fright, as if some subtle and bodiless emanation from the abyss were engulfing my spirit. But the blackness was too great for me to perceive the source of my alarm.
I don't like this. Up we go.
At length I emerged upon a tableland of moss-grown rock and scanty soil, lit up by a faint moonlight which had replaced the expiring orb of day.
I didn't know this was pretty or freaky.
Casting my eyes about, I beheld no living object,
It's not way down.
but was sensible of a very peculiar stirring far below me amongst the whispering rushes of the pestilential swamp I had lately quitted.
Any secrets? In case y'all can't tell, I'm not usually too big on horror games. I get freaked out way too easily. Secret. Dreamlands. Dreams have often been an inspiration for Lovecraft. Dagon is a good example. Moreover, the writer often set the actions of his stories in the dreamland, a separate world filled with unique places, creatures, and legends. This informal dream cycle includes stories written between 1918 and 1932, such as The Cats of Ulthar, The Doom That Came to Sarnath, Polaris, and The Silver Key. They show a slightly different side of the author of Call Cthulhu, and inspirations with the work of Lord Dunsany. The protagonist associated with the Dreamlands is Randolph Carter, known from, among others, one of Lovecraft's longest stories, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. It tells a story of Carter's journey through the amazing lands in search of a wonderful city that appeared to him in his dreams. Onward! Ooh. Shiny. I don't see no secrets there.
After walking for some distance, I encountered the rusty tracks of a street railway and the worm-eaten poles which still held the limp and sagging trolley wire.
Secrets? Wire secrets? No. Turn more to the right. No. The secret's nowhere. Aha! What was that mask? Borrowed concepts. Lovecraft believed the authors can make their stories more credible by exchanging ideas and drawing from each other's works. The best example is the famous invented book Necronomicon, which also appeared in the works of his friends such as Robert Bloch, later creator of Psycho, and Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan the Barbarian. His presence in the works of various other writers has led to the mythologization I don't know how to pronounce it, of the Necronomicon, and the appearance of references to the book in countless novels, films, and other works of pop culture. Lovecraft himself also used elements from other people's works, such as the books Unspeculation Colton, Nameless Cults by Robert E. Howard, and De Vermis Mysterious, Mysteries of the Worm by Robert Bloch. Hoster, a creature borrowed from Robert W. Chambers, author of The King in Yellow, who was inspired by Ambrose Bierce, who also used his Land of Carcosa, which later appeared in TV series True Detective. Sathagua, Sakathua, a creature invented by Clark A. Smith. Lovecraft slightly changed its appearance and included it in his stories. We wanted to follow this tradition, so we included objects from 3 other games created by our friends. I wonder if you would recognize them. Alright guys, I don't recognize that. I'm going to ask y'all to figure that out. And tell me in the comments so I can take credit for it.
Following this line, I soon came upon a yellow vestibuled car numbered 1852 of a plain, double-trucked type common from 1900 to 1910.
He knows cars. Apparently.
It was untenanted, but evidently ready to start.
Aha! Railway. The railway has always fascinated people. The mighty power of machines, the freedom to travel vast distances, the romanticism of an almost unrestricted exploration. Thousands of strangers passing each other every day. But also the desolate train stations, dreamlike journeys through the night, fatal accidents, and dangerous strangers. No wonder that this topic attracted horror and fantasy writers, from Charles Dickens' The Single Man, through Robert Bloch's award-winning The Hellbound Train, to Clive Barker's The Midnight Meat Train. It's also impossible not to mention that the most important Polish weird fiction writer, Stefan Gabrinski, whose most famous collection of stories, The Motion Demon, is dedicated to the railway. You will be able to get acquainted with this work through our next game. Ooh. And by the way, the steam locomotive was first used to transport passengers in 1825. I wonder if that has anything to do with the number dreamed by H.P. Lovecraft. Neat. I'm gonna play that next game whenever it comes out.
The trolley being on the wire and the air brake pump now and then throbbing beneath the floor.
You had to go a whole pause in the middle of that sentence for us to read lore.
I boarded it and looked vainly about for the light switch.
We don't need a light switch. We don't need a light switch. We're going in the dark. Oh, where'd he go?
Noting as I did so the absence of controller handle, which implied the brief absence of the motorman. Then I sat down in one of the cross seats toward the middle, awaiting the arrival of the crew and starting of the vehicle.
You guys will sit down. This is freaky. So I'm gonna look around and see if there's any secrets in here. Aha! The Visit. In 1927, Donald Wandre hitchhiked from Minnesota to Rhode Island to visit Lovecraft, sometimes having to spend the night outdoors during the trip. Over the course of more than 2 weeks, Lovecraft showed the guests around the most interesting places in his hometown of Providence and the surrounding area. They also went, among others, to Boston, where the writer wanted to show his friend the house, which partly inspired the story Pickman's Modal. Unfortunately, it turned out that it had been demolished. However, The truly chilling, literally event occurred later when another of Lovecraft's friends, James F. Morton, arrived. The three of them went to a store in Warren, where they took a part in an ice cream eating contest. Each of them tried as many as 28 types, and Lovecraft himself admitted that he ate about 2.5 liters of this delicacy. A statement describing their feat was framed and hung on the wall of the store. I expected it to be something like a lot darker. Instead, he just got some chocolate chip. Oh, ice cream now, dang it.
Presently, I heard a swishing in the sparse grass toward the left and saw the dark forms of the two men looming up in the moonlight.
If you ever see someone walking like that, you run.
They had the regulation caps of a railway company, and I could not doubt but that they were the conductor and motorman. Then one of them sniffed with singular sharpness and raised his face to howl at the moon. The other dropped on all fours to run toward the car. I leapt up and at once raced madly out of that car.
Oh, it's still over there. Where'd they go?
And away across endless leagues of plateau till exhaustion waked me.
Let's hear. Secret. No secret.
Doing this not because the conductor had dropped on all fours, but because the face of the motorman was a mere white cone, tapering to one blood-red tentacle.
I don't like that. No! He had a secret on his face. I missed the secret. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I got all but the last one. Dang it. Unlock. We'll unlock it. I feel like reading the last one. Inspirations. A man with a tentacle covering his face is a strong and disturbing motif. You may recognize this image as this is how Nyarlathotep, a mysterious, powerful creature appearing in Lovecraft stories, was portrayed in the role-playing game Call of Cthulhu. A creature with a bloody tentacle howling at the moon became the most frequently depicted form of Nyarlathotep, although this is not how Lovecraft described it. The presented story also became the inspiration for the erotic macabre novel Trolley No. 52, or 1852. By Edward Lee. Its hero is Lovecraft himself. He accepts a commission to write a specific type of story, combining horror and sensual themes, which features the titular Charlie and its terrifying motorman. I don't like that. Really don't like that. So are these the other games they're working on? Blood Madness. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I certainly did. I didn't like the scrambling. Anyway, got a couple more videos to record tonight, so I'm gonna leave it off here. Hope y'all had a good one, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Adios.